Now let's talk another quarterback. Quarterback heavy episode today. A guy who's was one of my favorite players going into the preseason. Didn't necessarily live up to all the hype at the beginning of the year, but down the stretch, played like an absolute madman. That guy's name is Taylen Green of Boise State, freshman Mountain West Player of the Year last year, preseason Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year this year, and I got benched over Mad Max. But when he came back, he was slinging darts, effectively running the ball. He's going to go transfer to Arkansas, which forced KJ Jefferson to officially enter the transfer portal after being rumored to enter the transfer portal several times over the last couple of weeks. Officially goes in the transfer portal. Taylor Green is essentially a KJ Jefferson clone, but he is more athletic. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, he's a little bit skinnier, but I think he's a little more dynamic and I think his pocket present in terms of mobility, like within the pocket, shedding off tackles. I mean, you saw what KJ Jefferson did to those Alabama players that were trying to tackle him. Just oof. Nick Saban even made a comment off it. It was awesome. But I think Green, yeah, a little bit more dynamic in the open fields, really separating from defenders.
Yeah, he made that backfield at Boise State so dangerous. So dangerous because here's a guy, right, that has two running backs, two
Here's a
essentially all Mountain West running backs, Ashton Janty, George Alani. And then you put a third running back, not saying like he's a running back in the sense where he can't throw, but like he's that electric with the ball. Like you could call him a running back. You could throw him in there in the I formation, and I'd hand him the ball. Like I don't know. For a team like Arkansas that kind of needs their quarterback to elevate the rest of their team, I think the added legs are really beneficial to that offense, especially considering how terrible the offensive line was this past year. Now their offensive line coach is gone. He is headed over to Mississippi State. Maybe we could see a resurgence there in the offensive line like Sam Pittman always dreamed of. But man, it's going to be interesting. No Rocket Sanders for Arkansas. I think AJ Green will probably be the running back there. I don't know if he's in the transfer portal, but I believe he'll be the starting running back. He was at least when Rocket Sanders was out. And I don't know. I love Taylen Green. I just don't love the landing spot. I think it's tough. I think I mean, he saw the success that KJ Jefferson had there, and he probably had conversations with Bobby Petrino, and Bobby Petrino is a very good offensive coordinator, a very good offensive mind. Gets a lot out of his players, especially the mobile ones. So, hence Lamar Jackson, right? Even Connor Wigman this year before he got hurt, I thought was a very, very good player. Jalen Henderson in the LSU game was very good. I mean, Bobby Petrino was in his bag. So if there was an offensive coordinator that could elevate Taylor Green's I think it could be Bobby Petrino for sure. But it feels like a weird spot to me. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that there were better spots for Taylor Green? Or do you like this a lot?
I think it's an interesting fit. You mentioned about Petrino. I think we saw him the best about Petrino, right? We've seen some highs and some lows for sure of him. But Lamar Jackson, right? Obviously the famous Heisman Trophy winner there, NFL All-Pro guy, quarterback stud. I don't say think there's a ton of similarities to their games. They are both dual threat and very dynamic in the open field. And I think that's kind of where you can start from the ground up and get him in favorable matchups. You can have light boxes or even heavy boxes because of his dynamic running ability. And yeah, he still a lot to be desired as a passer. I do think KJ Jefferson is a better quarterback right now than Taylor Green. I didn't think if everything clicks for Taylen Green, maybe not this year, but the year after, he can be a very dynamic
Yeah.
quarterback. I mean, the
Oh
tools are
yeah.
all there. There's a reason why he's at Arkansas. But it's interesting though. You mentioned Rocket Sanders transferring out. AJ Green is also in the portal as well. He might
Really?
come back.
Okay.
Who knows? But I also think there's a lot of good running backs in the portal, and I think it's a pretty attractive spot to be with Bob Petrino and Taylen Green. Seeing what Ashton Janty and George Lonnie did this past year for you there. We'll see if they can fix the line for him. I like their tight end group, right? They got some interesting wide receivers coming in. They're trying to fix that defense. They're doing a lot of things in Sam Pittman's, last last pitch desperation season for him, right? Him and Bobby Petrino there. It's super interesting. I don't know. I the fit. I'm just gonna call it interesting, but I would love. I think it's gonna be awesome. Like I think watching him, his best and his worst are gonna be too dramatic differences, right? But like when it clicks for him, and there will be plays where it clicks in the SEC, and he just eliminates eliminates angles and just turns corner on guys, and they're like, "Whoa, where did this come from?" You know?
Yeah, I'm excited for him as a player to get a new scene, a new offense coordinator, a new look with some more talent around him. But I would have been more excited if he went gone to a place like, I don't know, Auburn, who desperately needs a quarterback. I think I would have been more excited if he'd even gone to San Diego State. I think I would have been more excited if he had gone to, say, NC State, Robert and I would have been more excited about those type of things, or those teams if he had gone to them. But I love Taylen Green. You know that I am the conductor of the Taylen Green train. You know that. If you've been following the show long enough, all the way back when this whole thing started in June, one of our first episodes revolved around me hyping up Taylen Green, and he let me down a little bit this season. But at the end of the season, he won the Mountain West. I mean, he played absolutely unbelievable down the stretch. He's a stud. I still will believe that he is a stud. So, any other thoughts on Taylen Green?
Just don't ask him to do too much, especially playing against pretty high level defenses and defensive players. But I think you mentioned the end of the stretch there, Boise State when he was playing really, really well, helping him win a Mountain West championship, right? Like he wasn't asked to do too much. He was complete easy passes to your running backs, screen games, get the ball in space to receivers, and then use your legs. Right. I think Bob Petrino can see that and knows exactly what his quarterbacks can and can't do. And that's why I think the fit's interesting. Now, will he be developed at an elite rate? Who knows? And I hope he is because he's super fun to watch. And if he puts it all together, like we've talked about, would be incredible. But I think in terms of production, like college fantasy football will be a very interesting addition to Taylen Green. Like, I don't know. But I like it though. I think it's very interesting for the SEC and for Taylen Green.